thank you, thank you. So today's a great day for me because I get my first occasional. I've never given one. Normally, I never have. Normally I give speeches. I give speeches which are 5 to 7 minutes. That's all the time I have. So when Atul told me I had 30 to 40 minutes, I thought, well, I have to tell you, I lost a few nights sleep thinking what I could possibly say that would be worth $5. And then I realized, Jim, that I'd be using about 8,000 words, so that's like 1/10 of a cent of each word, and some are longer, so they'd be 20% of a penny, and some would be shorter, so it all averages out. So I can see it's worth it, so thank you so much. It'll be worth $5. Now, this isn't educational, but it's an educational for me, because I've never given one of these before. So you're going to teach me today. How you're going to do that is, you're going to talk back to me. I'm not going to just sit here and talk for 30 or 40 minutes. I don't need to hear the sound of my voice for that long. What I do need is to hear the sound of your voice. And so there are portions. I'm going to go through 3 segments. I'm going to stop after every segment, and I'm going to ask you for questions. And if I waited till the end to ask you for questions, you won't remember what I said in the beginning. So this way we're going to cover it piece by piece, step by step. Now we're going to have a few ground rules. Hello, Miriam, please join us. We staged this.
I'm not here.
We staged this. Miriam's here. All right. So now, first of all, it's okay to laugh, which you're doing a good job, because quite frankly, when I did my keynotes, I noticed a lot of times people don't laugh, particularly if it's a certain ethnic audience. And then, thank goodness, my friend Atul explained to me that in the Indian culture, it's rude to laugh when an old man is talking. Well, that's what he told me. And it's rude because it's a sign of disrespect. In fact, I'd be up there talking and I'd be dying because no one's laughing. And I'm thinking, oh, they hate me. So my confidence would really slide. So I want you to laugh a lot. It helps me. It keeps me encouraged and keeps me going. So be sure and laugh. Now, also it's okay to blurt out questions. You know, it's an educational, it's back and forth, blurting out questions. That's a good thing. And also, I told you we're going to stop after every segment. So be ready. I'm going to ask you some questions. Now, title is, if you want to be a strong leader, then speak. So I'm going to tell you, come on in, come on. So I'm going to tell you how I think you can become a strong leader through speaking. Now, I think there's 4 components to being a leader. A leader inspires, motivates, always provides value added, and is a role model. Recently I was having a conversation with someone who was going to join the leadership track. And he said, you know, I can't do that because I won't be able to speak. And I said, in fact, you're going to speak more when you're a leader. That there's the fallacy. People think they have to give up the communication portion of Toastmasters to be a leader. In fact, they go hand in hand. You're going to speak more when you take a leadership role. And here's why. I was a naive division governor back in 2008. And I went to a club that I had, well, I won't tell you the name of the club because I always get into trouble. But it's a club in San Francisco, and I went to a club, and the fellow there, he's a lovely guy, he gave this story. And what he did was he gave a speech, it was a speech, and he went camping to Tahoe, and he and his wife were there, and they fed the chipmunk Frito. And then this hawk came down and ate the chipmunk. What a story. You know, dramatic. So I go there 2 weeks later, and he's giving another speech. And this time they went camping to Yosemite. And there was a little groundhog fellow there, and they gave Cheetos to the groundhog. And an owl came and ate that groundhog. So my first lesson is don't ever take a Cheeto from this guy. The second thing is, I'm thinking, is this speech on the internet? I mean, where is this coming from? Little details change, but the speech is always the same. Yet, when you looked at that club and he had his little horse race chart of where everybody was, he had 40 speeches done. I bet there were a lot of chipmunks that bit the dust. There were a lot of chipmunks. And yet, there he was. So I said to him, my gosh, you've got 40 speeches. You should be an area governor. And he said, oh, I couldn't ever possibly do that. I just have no confidence I couldn't possibly ever do that. So he's still in his club to this day, I'm sure, telling stories about camping and chipmunks and groundhogs and Cheetos. You know, that's a good thing. Now, at the very same time, I had my CC and I said to myself, now how am I going to get 30 more speeches? That's a challenge. How would you get 30 more? Because I was going to get a DTM. I was going to finish that part of the track. So, well, let's see, I could do my own club, but we have about 45 members. You get to speak about once every quarter. So it'd be 4 years, I'd be bored before I got 30 more speeches. And wouldn't they be bored hearing my speeches, the same thing over and over again? I thought, ooh, I know, I'll join another club, a small club, where they need speakers, and I'll go there every time and give another speech. But really, they know you're a carpetbagger after a while. They really know what you're doing. I thought, no, that's not going to work. So where was the future? Where was my next step? Was it going to be more chipmunk stories, or was it going to be something different? Now, I'm a new division governor. I decided I was going to visit all the clubs in my division. And on a Friday morning, I go to downtown San Francisco, I park, and I go at 8 o'clock to a club called Marshmallow. And it's all these young people there, and they were doing their meeting, and I noticed they weren't evaluating themselves real well. And at the very end, they said, we're finished early, so we'll be done now. And I was in the back, I said, excuse me, can I say a few words? And they said, well, really? Sure. And I said, I noticed you don't have a general evaluator. And I said, why is that? And they said, oh, we evaluate ourselves as we go along. Really? I noticed that there were a few things kind of out during the meeting that perhaps I could say a few words about. And they said, sure. Which is how I learned, if you really want to rip them a new one, get a job as their general evaluator. So I thought, well, okay, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, they're going to kick me out of here. But at the end of the meeting, a young fellow named Brian Colgrove came up to me and he said, Mike, you are so inspiring. I want to be an area governor for you, and I know you have a position open. And I said, let me think about it, yes. So that's how I found an area governor. So clearly I did something, clearly I said something that caused him to want to be part of the team. That's a huge contribution to us as an organization. We're looking for area governors, okay? I then went to Starbucks and I spent about an hour thinking how great I was, because I got an area governor. And then I went to this club called McKesson. They start at noon. They meet at noon. Now, I love those noon clubs. Oh, those noon clubs. And everybody walks in with their Tupperware. You know the meeting has started. And then the Diet Coke can gets open. That opens about 2 minutes later. And then the chips come out around table topic time. I love it. So anyway, it's one of those clubs. But they were a club that was never participating much. And so at the very end, they gave me a chance to speak again. And I went on and on and on. And they actually accused me of being at Starbucks too long, because apparently I was quite wound up. And I know you find that hard to believe, but I just talked and talked and talked and talked. And afterwards, 3 of the members came up to me and said, you're doing a speech contest, you're doing a contest, could I be a judge? Could I be the contest chair? And I thought, wow, this is great. They said, yeah, you were so inspiring and you're so motivating that we'd like to do this for you. And I thought, wow, this is great. So I left there, I'm feeling pretty cool. I'm walking back to the garage. I remember vividly standing in the Sutter Stockton garage in downtown San Francisco, and I didn't think. I parked the car at 7:30, and now it's like 2 o'clock. The bill came out for $55 for parking, and I thought, I have taken my morning. I'm not at work. I bill out by the hour, so how many hundreds of dollars did that cost me? Plus, I got to send the shirt to the cleaners. Plus, this is now a parking bill that's outrageous. So this cost me about $400. And I thought, I simply can't do this. This is not going to work. I can't be a division governor. This isn't going to work. And I thought, wait a minute. I finally figured out what it is for me, where my next 30 speeches are coming from. Because clearly, I don't have to talk about chipmunks and freedoms for 30 more speeches. I can go get area governors. I can go get judges. Now, what's more of a value to me? Learning that skill, or just giving another speech, and another speech, and another speech. So for me, I found that to be very, very intriguing. And what I learned was, the entire process, here's what happens when you're a division governor. You'll get an email one night, and it'll say, Mike, I'd like you to come to our club and speak. Oh, all right. I'd love to. And they email back 5 minutes later, and they said, you know what? Thanks. It'd be great. By the way, we'd like you to inspire and motivate. We're going to have 10 guests there. We expect you to turn them all into members. And it would help if you're funny and, by the way, be really charming and charismatic. So you sit there and think, what? There's no way I could write this. There's no way I could be this way. I'm not this way. What do they expect? And I thought, wow, see what they want? They're not asking you to come and give a story about a chipmunk. They're asking you to come to inspire and motivate them. That is what they expect of a leader. And I thought, now here is potential for me. So that's how I was exposed to the first two components of the 4, inspire, motivate, provide value, add a good role model, to inspire and motivate. Now, questions, comments, feedback, anything? What do you think?
What'd you say?
So when I was first asked by Atul to come here. All right, anything? Anything so far? Nothing?
No, what did you say in your speeches?
Yeah. That inspired and motivated.
Oh, good. Oh, you know what I did? Oh, this is great. I thought, what would I, if you can't write, you know, every great speaker tells you they got 3 speeches, but they're really good, right? You know, don't they all say that? And I thought you couldn't possibly, you can't write a new speech every time. There's not that much to say. It's the same old stuff over and over again. So I thought, well, so what I did was I did the charisma thing. I stole it from Rory Vaden. charisma, the components of speaking. C is, you know, H is, you know, A, and that kind of thing. People love that stuff. They love those. You give them a word, and then there's the components. And I'd have a piece of paper for every one. I put it on the board, and people would take them down and take them home. I thought, oh, this is great. I love it. It was good. And it was a 7-minute thing, and I could learn it. I love doing that because, you know, I want to learn what it's like to give the same speech more than once. There are speakers, some great speakers like the Durham McCroys, who say the problem with Toastmasters is you give a speech and then you throw it away and you go give another speech and throw it away and give another speech. And I can tell you there's power in giving the same speech over and over again. And here's what usually happens for me. The first one, I'm incredibly nervous. The second one is kind of cool. The third one, I figure I'm a genius. The fourth one, I bomb because I'm so arrogant. And then I go back and I redo the whole thing. And the fifth one is when it really starts singing. And by the time I have that finished, it's when I can start working on all the secondary parts of the speech, like the hand gestures, the body. I can do all of the ghosting. I can decide when I'm going to move back. I can decide when I'm going to pivot over to Jennifer. I can do all that because I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say. If you're always sitting there reading the computer screen, the back of your eyes, you're never going to get to the luscious things of giving a speech. You're never going to get to the beautiful point of watching the people. I just scan the room, I know what everybody's doing right now. You don't get to that when you're just, okay, well, I got to say next, So, yeah, it was great. That's the first thing I did. And then you evolve after that, yeah. So it was great fun, that's what I did. Now, any other questions? Any other questions? Value added. Oh, good.
So some clubs don't quite like it when an area governor or a division governor comes by. And did you face that kind of resistance?
Yeah, I did. When I was a new area governor, I called, oh, this is great. You know, I tell people, I love it. People say to me, well, yeah, I wish I had $1,000. I want to go to Oakland and take this leadership course for a weekend. I said, save your money. Become an area governor. And call that first club, and they tell you they don't want to see you because, quite frankly, they don't participate and they have no use for Toastmasters International. Call me. Let me know what you learn about leadership. We'll talk. I remember when I was an area governor, I thought, oh, this is going to be, this is great. So I called a club. I'll tell you who it is. Jets, Japanese English-speaking Toastmasters. And I called the president, and I said, hi, I'm going to come and I'm going to pay a visit to your club. He goes, well, no, thank you very much. I said, but no, you don't need to because we don't participate in any way outside our club. I said, Jesus, they hate me, they don't even know me. I mean, you know, I get a chance to do something here. So I went on a Friday night though because I was giving a speech contest. And, you know, area speech contest, and I was going to give them those flyers no matter what. So I went there on a Friday night, and I walked in there with a lot of attitude, and I sat in the back. And I had my flyers ready, and I got to tell you, it's amazing because the president did introduce me, but he was mistaken. He thought they didn't participate outside their club, and in fact, everybody else did. Remember, it's the Japanese English-speaking Toastmasters. They lined up at the break to meet the most honorable area governor, and I thought I should dress better. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, it really, I was like, oh my God. So they were thrilled that I was there, and I learned the lesson. What you do, don't ever just communicate with the president. Communicate with everybody in the club, every officer, not every member, but every officer, because the president may not be representing that club. Oh, that was a great lesson. So then so we chatted, they got to like me. They came to the area contest and I greeted them in Japanese. It took me a week to practice that. That's a tough language. And I had a Japanese friend write it all out, and I memorized it. And I greeted them in Japanese, and well, since then they adore me. But look how that could have been. I mean, if I had listened to him and said, no, don't come, I would have, I would have ended up like a lot of other area governors who are burned out, tired, and think it's a totally useless job. So don't ever stop at the first no, because you don't know what they're saying or how they're saying it or why they're saying it. So, yeah. And that's, by the way, how you get paid. Do you know I went back to that club about a year later? I was a division governor then, and I went back with my area governor. They were very welcoming to me. It was a rainy Friday night, and they were very welcoming to me. And afterwards, they came up to me with my area governor, Miriam Jeanette Castaneda. And Miriam Jeanette was pretty burned out at that time. And we went to the club, and they were very gracious to me. They were very warm. They were very welcoming. They were very complimentary. And they really didn't say much to Miriam Jeanette as the area governor, but I was the division governor. They walked us to the elevator. They put us in the elevator. We walked out. Miriam Jeanette and I walked out. We walked down the street. There wasn't a word being spoken. And we got to the corner, and she said, "This is why you do this, isn't it?" And I said, "Why?" And she said, "How they treated you." And she said, "You came out on a rainy Friday night to do this. For me," she said, "it's a pain in the ass. I came out of here, I drove on a Friday night, it's raining, and I don't want to be here." I said, maybe that's why they weren't so nice to you, with that kind of attitude. So I said, but you have to look at what moves you, what motivates you with these people. And she said, I got it now. This is what drives you. So, well, maybe. So yeah, imagine what a great story, what a great reward, what a great ending from a no. That's a story that started with a no. Yeah. I love that story. So, value added. What do you have for value added, Dwani? What can you provide me in Toastmasters as value added?
Stories.
Really? Tell me a story.
Did
Did you have it? All right, tell me a story.
It's about experiences that people share up here. It's about building a sense of getting attached to it, finding new friends and new community.
Okay, good. Anything else? What value could you add to someone? What Toastmaster value? Sharon, you've been a Toastmaster for a long time. What's the value you add?
Definitely the connection. Also the fact that you're developing a skill, a mindset that really can't be taken away from you. So the change, if you allow it to be, is permanent. That would be my biggest thing.
Mark, what skill can you offer, or value added can you offer to people?
I think the single biggest skill or value that comes out of me being a Toastmasters is the evaluations. It gets to the point where people come up to me after meetings to ask how I do it. And it's just a level of, it's giving nice yet useful evaluations.
Do you know what the power of Toastmasters is? It's not in the speeches. They're sexy. But, the power is in the evaluation of the table topics. If you're good at evaluating in table topics, first of all, you go through life doing table topics. And in fact, I work on table topics now because every time I sit down for table topics, I go, man, if I thought of that, it would have killed it. But I don't because I'm so panicked. My heart still pounds when they mention table topics, my heart just pounds because I know we're starting. Now, evaluations are, I decided to work on evaluations about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I wanted to work on my evaluating because, quite frankly, I'm extraordinarily interested in your evaluation of me, Birgit. I'm not interested in your opinion of me. I guess your opinions are interesting, but I'm not interested in those. But I'm extraordinarily interested in your evaluation. And I'm not interested in Henry Miller's opinions, but I'm really interested in his evaluation of me. There's a huge distinction between the two. And I'll tell you something, I went to your club to evaluate you. Remember that?
You did a great job.
Yeah, well, you know what? First of all, that was a funny thing. But it was great. And so, but the feedback I got from that was amazing. They thanked me, the members of his club thanked me in those little notes. They thanked me for having the nerve to give him a tough evaluation because he's their best speaker and they're all afraid of him. I kept those. Those are very special.
You gotta show them to me. I gotta see them.
I kept those. They're very special. Yeah. And you didn't land it that night. You didn't land that speech. And I told you why.
That was the first time.
Yeah, first time.
No, that's the first time for that speech.
Oh, first time for that speech, yeah. Yeah, and you did not land it, and I piqued your whole card. I told everybody you didn't land it. Yeah, and I told them why. And they were shocked. Oh my God, you don't like that. And I know I couldn't. I didn't know he was a big deal. He was just invited to come and give an evaluation. It's a big deal. Here's the thing, there's a new book out by Seth Godin called Poke the Box, and people accuse me. They say, Mike, sometimes you even know there's a box there. You just do what you do, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh. So usually, hopefully, I don't get in too much trouble. But that was a great night. I really enjoyed that. That was I love my evaluation. I learned a lot evaluating you because you are a great speaker, and it's very difficult. Yet, when people get up, I hate this when evaluators get up and say, well, I can't evaluate you, Jennifer, because you're such a great speaker. Oh, please. No, it's that great. And the other thing, and here's the thing. This drives you crazy. They go, oh, Mike, that was a great speech. You were just so funny. You're so great. I look forward to the next one. Well, of course you do. But, I mean, come on. I worked hours on this. What, are you kidding me? So, but no, come on. What was it? What did you feel? Did I inspire you? Did I motivate you? Are you going to do something because of what I said? Is there something there? So you have to motivate, or you have to look at the motivation and the inspiration. Did you feel something? See, here's the thing. You are not going to remember after today what I wore. You're not going to remember this shirt, and you're not going to remember the color of my eyes, but you will remember how I made you feel. Each one of you. Like I was funny, like you hated me, like I was arrogant, like who the hell is he? Who's this guy think he is? That's all feeling, and that's what you're going to remember. And associated with the feeling is going to be something that hopefully you learn. And my job is to teach you something. That's why I'm here. Why else would I spend my Sunday afternoon if I wasn't going to try, or if I didn't want to learn something? How do you do that? I'm not going to teach you something by preaching at you. Your brain cannot listen to me talk for first of all, I'm not that interesting. And second of all, your brain can't follow me for 30 minutes. Your brain has to refresh. Like a comedian, knows he has to get a laugh periodically. So I have to somehow make you feel. I love that. This is great. All right, so here's value-added things. I got to tell you a great story about it. He just showed me the green light. Did you?
Yeah, it was only 20 minutes. It was 23, 40.
Okay, good. Okay, you let me know. I was sitting at a club with a bunch of young people, and the guy next to me had his iPhone, and there's an app for the red, yellow, green, okay? And they were doing table topics. So he was called for table topics and didn't know he would be as timer. So he passed me the iPhone and said, here, time me. I don't know how to work an iPhone. So I put it in my lap and I went, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And so I had the time. And so when he sat back down and said, here's your time, he said, the phone went dark. How do you know that? Because I can see through the dark. Busted. Oh, God. All right. So you know what it's like, if you value added, you know what it's like to give an icebreaker, right? That's a value, particularly for someone who's never given one before. I mean, for someone who's never given an icebreaker, you're like amazing today if you've given your icebreaker. Here's another one. If you've given 10 speeches, you have an experience level that's extraordinary to people. Most people don't make it past 5. Most people don't make it past 7. Really, you get to 10, you're absolutely amazing. Here's another one. Did you know that the CC manual is not a collection of 10 random speeches? Did you know that those 10 speeches are the 10 components of every great speech? That's what they are. Every time I speak, I need to what? Use body language, vocal variety, I need to inspire you, I need to motivate you, I need to research it. Go down the whole thing, and those are the 10 components of every great speech. And when I drive home, after, I will be going through my mind, before I put on the share tape. I will be going in my mind, if I did, how many of those I accomplished. And if I accomplished 8 or 9, I'll figure, good day. If I did 5, you don't want to be in that car with me, because I would have failed. If I only did 5 of the 10. So that CC manual is the 10 components of every great speech. I remember at the very beginning, people like Lance Miller said, Mike, I do one of those every year for every one of my clubs. And I thought, are you crazy? Now I do one every year for every one of my clubs, because I have so many chances to speak. So, So maybe you know already what today is about, that communication and leadership are not exclusive, that they're actually inclusive, that they both are one and the same. The leadership track and the communication track, maybe you know that. Maybe that's a value added that you could tell someone. Or maybe, just maybe, you know that there is no manual and there's no education you can go to that's going to make you a better speaker. Don't you hate knowing that? Like there's no wizard in Oz. What it is, it's speaking. You have to speak. If you run a swim team in high school, the coach will tell you there's no cheerleaders on a swim team. Everybody in the pool. You know? You don't get to be a good speaker by doing Excel spreadsheets. You get to be a good speaker by speaking. You don't get to be a good golfer by like reading about golf. You have to swing a club every day. And if you want to be a good tennis player, you swing your racket every day. So while I can't speak every day, I talk all the time, but I try to speak every opportunity I get, because it's through speaking that I learn how to be a better speaker. So there's no secret. There's no secret. And people are waiting for the secret. There is no secret. The secret is you speaking every chance you get to speak. Any questions on this? You realize you all have value? Yes? No?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, so now, inspire, motivate, provide value added, be a role model. I got a lot of grief on this when I decided to be a role model. I was told I was being too egotistical. I thought about it, I realized, what does that person know? So here's the deal. No. I'm here today because I found a role model. My third speech in my club, my home club. In 2005, I started my club. I started the club, I was one of the founders of it and one of the charter members. And after my third speech, I realized that there was no future in this for me because it would take me a week to give a speech. We met on Thursday. So I'd write the speech on Monday, I'd do the mirror work on Tuesday, I'd buy the new wardrobe on Wednesday. On Thursday I'd take the Valium and I'd go give the speech. And I thought, I'm running a business, I have a life, I really can't do this. So I was dropping out. I was done, 3 speeches done. And the people in my club said, there's this thing called, remember they were new, we didn't know anything. And in those days we didn't have phenomenal people like Birgit and Jennifer and me, who I let people know who area and division governors were. We didn't know. We didn't know there was a division governor. We didn't know there was an area governor. All we knew is that we were at this little club on Octavia Street, and that was it. But we got this thing about a speech contest, something called a speech contest at the True Baptist Church in North Beach. And they said, why don't you come with us? And I said, no, I'm dropping out. And they said, well, no, come out, just come out. So I said, all right, well, the last thing, I'll go to this True Baptist Church and go to this thing called speech contest. And I tell you, the room was like teeming with the talent and the people. And I was just like overwhelmed. And the guy who won was a guy by the name of Michael Dart. And Michael Dart had that English accent. He was wearing that blue shirt and that burgundy tie. Oh man, you can get away with a lot with that and English accent. And he told a story about his daughter losing a tooth, and Daddy, when's the tooth fairy coming? The tooth fairy's never coming. In this world, there's no such thing as a tooth fairy. With starvation and what's going on, and we're like crying about, yeah, the tooth fairy's coming, yay! And we're laughing. This is an incredible speech. He deserved to win, and he did. And I said to myself, boy, when I grow up, I'm going to be like Michael Dart. Except he's 20 years younger than I am. So I realized I better stay in Toastmasters and give a few more speeches. Wouldn't you agree? So there was my role model experience. It was that simple because I was out the door. See, shouldn't parents be role models? Shouldn't your bosses be role models? Shouldn't the district governor of Toastmasters be a role model? Why should it be any different? And then, shouldn't Jennifer Stevenson be a role model? And shouldn't Birgit? And shouldn't Mark? And shouldn't you be a role model? Because somewhere it all goes down the line. It all goes down. There's somebody that needs to see a role model. And quite frankly, if I didn't know how to speak, well, why would I be the district governor? I mean, this isn't an Excel spreadsheet club. If you want to go do that. But this is a speaking organization. So I can tell you a story. How it trickles down. I was at a speech contest. Birgit knows the story. Birgit and I were at Division H speech contest. Remember, we were walking out. I never go anywhere without Birgit. And well, I don't. And so we're walking out, and there was this kid standing at the end of the sidewalk, and you could tell he was a shy guy, a shy Toastmaster, because he was moving around the water and the Coca-Cola bottles, but and he stood in my path, so I know what this means now. I know he's going to talk to me when I get there. So Birgit and I walk up, and he goes, hi, Mike, do you remember me? I lied, he said yes. And he shook my hand, and he said, you remember, you came to my club. And you came to my club about a year ago, and you evaluated my icebreaker. And I said, great, let it go. He goes, well, you know, for someone of your stature, BS this kid. He said, for someone of your stature, and to take the time to come to the club and evaluate my icebreaker, I want you to know that was so important to me. And he said, I want you to know that I thought about that. From every time I gave another speech, I thought about what you said. And I used that because I want you to know I just got my CC. And I shook his hand. I said, great, thanks. And I walked away. And Birgit said, well, that's kind of rude. Why don't you talk to him? And I said, because I don't want him to see the tears in my eyes. I'm so proud of him. See, I was a role model to him. Who knew? I don't even know his name. I couldn't even tell you the club. But I was a role model to this kid. He has a CC today because I came. And you know what I did? You know what I did? I've been on his evaluation. I can tell you the evaluation now. There's 2 parts to every speech, content, delivery. By the way, I can tell you work very hard on your content. And on the delivery, I'd suggest you maybe, you know, it's the same stuff. But it was new to him because he had never heard it before. And I said it with passion, and I said it with commitment. And it got him through 9 more speeches. Right? Like, this is amazing. I love this story. So, which is showing I like this. So, any questions about that role model?
Who is your biggest role model?
Now?
Yes.
Do you know, well, in the world?
Both.
Oh, okay, I can tell you Toastmasters. One of my role models is, well, first of all, Stephen Jobs is a great role model because when Stephen Jobs speaks, see, Stephen Jobs doesn't tell you that they took some plastic, put it together, and they put some chips in it, and by the way, you can make a phone call on it. He'll say to a tool, we reinvented the phone. And a tool's standing in line at an Apple store to buy one of these things. You know? So he knows, Stephen Jobs knows that when you're listening to him, that you're thinking, what's in it for me? That's all. When I'm standing here, I'm not listening to the sound of my voice. I can do that at home. I know that you're sitting here thinking, what's in it for me? And when I scan the room and look at your eyes, I'm watching to see if you're getting something, if I have your attention. Because if not, then I have to do something, I have to be ridiculous, I have to, you know, do something silly to catch your attention. That's the first role model. Second role model is Jennifer Stevenson. She's a role model for me. And Jennifer Stevenson, Jennifer Stevenson has memorized the entire TI website. She does. You know? Yeah. She memorized the entire TI website. And she does it all as seemingly effortlessly. She pretends to work, but I don't think she does because she has all day to do that. So I think that, she's amazing. And she's constant, she's a rock, and that's what you need. One of the difficult things in working in an organization like this with volunteers is they fade in and out. Yeah, you're nodding your heads, yeah, they fade in and out. And they don't mean to, but it's a volunteer organization. So Jennifer Stevenson never fades in and out, I just know how constant she is. And so therefore, I can do what I need to do as the district governor because I know that she, as the legate, will be constant. Next role model is Birgit Starman's. Boy, I tell you, PR, oh man, if you don't have, if you don't have a good person running a PR, you're doomed, particularly me, because I need a lot of PR. So, so she's there constantly. When it's time to do a forecaster, I know. When it's time to do a checklist, I know that. So it's people that I can count on. One of the reasons I became district governor is because I knew that these people would be with me. I was not interested in just being a district governor to be district governor. Why? I don't need another job. And you're not paying me any money. So it was the people. See, years from now, see, I don't understand this. People, you say to people who have been like for 15 years ago they were district governor, and you say, well, who was your legate? And they go, I don't know. Who was your LGM? I don't know. How can that be? Years from now, when you ask me if we were distinguished or not, I probably won't remember. I'll be too old. I won't have a memory. Or if you ask me what we did, what programs we instituted in the district, I won't know. But I can tell you that I did it with Jennifer Stevenson and Birgit Starman's. I will, yeah. Same is true of my business. You know, my business, I don't remember. We do landscaping. I don't remember what we planted. Same old stuff. But boy, do I remember the clients. I remember every one of those clients. See, for me, it's the people. I'm here because of the people. You know, I don't need another job. I don't need something to do on a Sunday afternoon. What I need is for you to learn something and be better. That's what I need. So those are my role models. Yeah, good. Any other questions? How are we doing our time?
You have 5 minutes.
5 minutes. I'm like, hey, got 2 almost made it. Well, Jennifer did a 40-minute thing in her company, and she won an award for the best presentation, so I figured if Jennifer can do it, so can I. So, there you go. Okay, here we go. So I want you to consider: inspire, motivate, value added, always provide value added, and be a role model. By the way, as a leader, you have to stand for something. People know I stand for that. You could wake me up in the middle of the night, I'd say inspire, motivate, provide value added, be a role model. It's come up in my keynotes over and over again. Find one thing to say and 10 ways to say it. One thing to say, 10 ways to say it. By the way, this is 4 things. Normally you do 3. 4 is too many. 2, it looks like you're not committed enough. So what you really want is, you want us, 3 is a good number. 3 is always, Birgit taught me that. You know, she's always, in PR, 3 things, right? 3 key points, 3 things, 3 selling points, yes, 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 yes. Because you know what? The leaders speak, they don't. You can't instill your passion and your vision, your commitment by emailing or Excel spreadsheets. How are you going to do that? You can only do it by speaking. That's the only way. And if you find a different way, let me know. And I'll bet you there is not. The only way you can communicate your passion, your commitment, and your vision is by standing up and speaking. Now, it doesn't matter how you speak. All that's important is that you speak. This is what I love, my pet peeve. I go to places in the club and I'll say to the president, when's the last time you gave a speech? Ooh, I'm too busy to give a speech. I'm being president of this club. And I said to myself, you know, we're not a president of a club organization. We're a speaking organization. Speak, and you'll be a more powerful president. And what I love is when they say, well, I can't speak because I'm too busy doing my Excel spreadsheets for the club. You know, come on, you're hiding. Because the truth is you joined this to be a better speaker. You didn't, there's an Excel spreadsheet club somewhere you can join. You didn't join this to be an Excel spreadsheet person. You go join that club if you want. You can join the knitting club, you can join the eating club, you can join whatever club. But if you're here, you joined to speak. You joined to speak. So go give a speech. I'm going to tell you the last story, then I'm going to let you go. I went to a club called Asian Express. I love this club. My district secretary is from Asian Express. If you call Central Casting and said, send me over the bar scene from Star Wars, it'd be Asian Express. They are a group of characters that I love. They are fabulous, and they meet in the True Baptist Church. Oh, they're fantastic, and there's 6 of them. So I go there, and because I'm invited, I go wherever I'm invited, and yeah, I'm alive. So I go there, and there's this little girl sitting next to me. She's like 20. And I introduced myself before the meeting, and she said, hi. And I said, hi, what are you doing here? She said, well, I'm a new member. Really? And she said, I'm giving my icebreaker tonight. Really? And she said, yeah. I said, what are you going to talk about? She goes, well, I'm really shy, and I don't have a life, and I live with my parents, I can't keep a job, and I like to have a boyfriend, but I'll never get a boyfriend. So my therapist told me I need to come here and join Toastmasters. And I'm thinking, oh, we'll see how this goes. So she's introduced. Remember, 6 people in there. The Barsul from Star Wars, get a visual. She stands up, and she's introduced. And I sit in that room going, oh, man. And she stands up and she goes, hi, I'm shy. I can't speak in public. I live with my parents. I can't keep a job. I like to have a boyfriend, but I don't think I ever will get one. And my therapist told me I have to be, and she went on. She was magnificent. I mean, you know, I just get choked up thinking about it. She was magnificent. So, I mean, think about that. I mean, me talking in front of 200 people is nothing compared to what she did. And she's amazing. In 6 people she did it. So, my wish for you is that you speak a lot, and that every time you speak, you are